What it is, guys, it's your favorite mistake, and I'm coming back at you with more Dokkan. We haven't actually talked about much Dokkan lately, and, well, we need to get back on the train because we have just a matter of days before 4th anniversary. In fact, technically the countdown has started, but I meant to get this out a couple days ago, so we're going to pretend like it hadn't started yet. Cool. We're going to pretend like this is like Thursday, right? Even though it's Sunday, but y'all get the basic idea. So, we have a brand new virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash, aka Battlefield. And this one, we'd been anticipating. This one's pretty hardcore if you're unprepared. But if you go into this prepared, it really ain't that big a deal. I'll be real. Like, the last Battlefield gave me problems because I went in with my old teams, expecting it to be the same basic run. And it totally was not. It's totally something different. So let's talk about this and in a little bit of detail and what you need to do to prepare. Because if you go in here and you use auto, you're probably going to get jacked up. It's not going to be a lot of fun for you. I've told you guys since the beginning, auto is not the way to go. You want to manage your teams, and you want to do this right. So, first up, we have Master Roshi. Okay, Physical Master Roshi. Physical Master Roshi, if you see over here on the side, I actually have the whole list up there. Physical Master Roshi just can't be stunned, but he doesn't have any damage reduction. He doesn't do anything. I'll be real. You guys have been telling me for basically since it started to use the Ginyu team to start off, and I agree with that on this one. I think the Ginyu team actually rocks him. They really haven't done what I expected them to do before, but now they are incredibly viable because you can totally go... You should be able to get basically most of the LRs. The only LR I didn't go after were the dupes of Tech Goku Ginyu, because, you know, we have a new LR, I believe it's Oob is the one that's coming at the second part of 4th anniversary. So, you should have plenty, though, to get Physical Ginyu. Physical Ginyu is a great sub-lead for this team. He doesn't give you ki, but he gives you enough HP attack and defense that you are just fine, and everyone on this team will still hit the way you expect them to. Plus, since they have really good key links, you're not really worried about super attacks. The only time it might hurt is with the LRs, but I'll be real, you don't even need the use supers in this. Their regular super attacks are just fine. So, this team is actually really, really good for Master Roshi. They take him out, it's not really much of a hassle. Bada bing, bada boom, you're done, and you get kind of your scrub team out of the way. Peppy Gals might be another one. I haven't tested them out. But I'll be real, having two scrub teams on hand, this one probably isn't that big a deal. Now, the next one is the one that actually psyched me out a little bit. That is, and if we go back here, it actually isn't listed. If we go into the stage information. So go to stage information, it says Extreme Tech. Well, this is the Android 19 like we had last time, but he's a Tech type this time, which with his previous type made it a little easier to work with. But he can't be stunned, he can't be sealed, and he does absorb all ki-based attacks. So what do you use? Well, I'm going to be real, and this is going to sound really off the wall. I went in here and I used my Realm of Gods team. Wait, what? Why would you do that? Well, I'll explain. And I know, we're already using categories. We haven't even gotten to mono teams yet. And normally, I'm all about the mono teams. But I'm going to be real. From this point on, you can pretty much use mono teams. Okay? But if I go in here to Realm of Gods, the reason I did this is because you want some int units that are going to be, you know, fairly strong against 19. But the big thing is you want units that do not have ki-based super attacks. So, the main leader for this team, UI Goku, his attack, even though it's a ki attack, it does not have a, it does not have the little ki modifier over here. It is not a ki-based attack. I'm going to change this from character back to super attack level because it'll help me out in a minute. So, UI Goku's a great leader for this team. My sub-leader I use is this guy. Strength Vegito Blue. Strength Vegito Blue, even though his attacks technically are ki attacks-ish, Vegito Sword still is not considered a ki attack. It's considered a physical attack. Probably because it's a ki sword, whatever. I don't make the rules. So he's a really good sub-leader for this team. Now, next up, I have Jiren and Topo both on this team. Jiren and Topo both have physical attacks. Now, I can already hear people asking, what's the difference? Because all I've shown off are these types of attacks. So pay close attention to how Topo's is right here. If you're not familiar with how this works, let's go up here to, say, this Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So you see God Kamehameha has this little icon next to it. You'll see it's over there on the list as well. And I'll put a link in the description so you can see this list over on the wiki. But this lists everything that these units are doing. So he will absorb any super attack that has this little icon next to it that is key-based. So that's basically what it is. It's a key blast, more or less. So you want to avoid those units. So Topo, Jiren, UI Goku, SS Blue Vegito. Great units to use. In fact, I use Blue Vegito as my sub-leader, which is why the next three on my team are going to sound really strange. The next unit I have on this team are these big dogs. And hold up, Holy Light Grenade is a key-based attack. But my goal is always to get off Concierto Smash. That one is not key-based. So basically, for me on this team, if I can get off the U-Super, I do it. If I can't get off the U-Super, I don't get a super attack. Or at least I try not to. The great thing about this is I pair them, as always, with SS Rose. SS Rose, Walt Chaos is not Waltz of Chaos. Walt Chaos. That's like the anti-Walt Disney. Waltz of Chaos is not key-based. So basically, when he gets a super attack off, he's still doing damage. Now, he is doing damage at a reduced rate, but he's such a good hitter, it really doesn't matter at this level of the game. Like, he still rocks him. Okay? And finally, Merge Zamasu. So basically, I'm going to be able to get two villains on a team that, I mean, almost guaranteed. Almost guaranteed. I'm going to get two villains on a team that basically are going to just ream the enemy. Now, again, they only have the one leader on this team. The heroes really do the most damage. Jiren tanks like a boss. Topo's a great linker for Jiren, and he gives 35% to all of his superclass allies. I think it's only superclass allies. I don't think it's all allies. Let's see here. Raises attack for all allies by 25%, and all allies attacking it. So it's all allies. And enemy's defense minus 50%. So basically, Topo takes apart at the seams, and whoever else you have with him is really going to get boosted to the moon. So even like if you had, Merge Zamasu on that team, he's still going to hit really, really, really well. Because you get Topo's super attack off, and then you get his super attack off. Splendid team for this. The only one you have to be careful with is the LR Zamasu and Rose. If you have them, obviously. If you don't have them, there's other options. AGL? I haven't checked AGL. No, see AGL Blue or Rose. His is not key based. I'd have to go back and look at. I think Physical Goku Black's is, but lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of options. So I think this is the team you want to take Android 18 or 19. I'm sure other people have done things and have differing opinions. That's fine. Let me know in the comments section down below what you used against him. But the key is you just don't want to use, no pun intended, key-based attacks. So use your physical attacks. For the rest of these guys, I just use a mono team. I'll be real. So for the AGL here, obviously I use Extreme AGL. I use a Super Tech team, and I put most of my LRs on there, with the exception of Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I save him for the Super Saiyan 3 team. Now, Extreme STR, obviously, I'm going to use my Super AGL team on there, and they just destroy it. They take it apart at the seams. This is another weird one. Now, Passion for Peace, Great Saiyan. I use, and I'll show you the team that I use. I use a super physical team. But you should be able to create at least most of the team that I have created. Because a lot of this team, believe it or not, is, I say free-to-play, is attainable in free-to-play fashions. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. Fizz, and Superclass. Okay. So for my leader, I do use a Dokkan Fest unit. I use the Super Saiyan 3 physical Gotenks because I've now based on my Tech 1, since he hits just as well, my Tech 1's now viable on the Super Saiyan 3 team. So I just throw him on that team and use this guy as the leader. My sub-leader, debatable whether you have him or not, my sub-leader is Bardock. I use Bardock. I think he's absolutely great. I love him to death. And he's a great sub-leader. I'm sorry, not Bardock. Am I screwing up? I thought Bardock was the 100%. No, yeah, he is. Super physical type, 100%. It's okay. I was looking at the Extreme Fizz. Yeah. Super physical type, key +3, 100% all stats. Great sub-leader. Fantastic sub-leader. You'll notice I don't have physical Trunks on there, and that's because I was going to build a hybrid Saiyans team, but I didn't have enough to put the hybrid Saiyans team together. So I might revisit this, but I'll go into why that is a little bit later. So, no, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and sub-leader of LR, LR Bardock, if you have him. If not, you can find another sub-leader. I'm sure that's fine. Hopefully you have this dude. But, yeah, great units all around. Now, for the meat and potatoes of this team, you will notice I have this LR on here. And completely free to play, absolutely the best. And what you want on this team is you want to make sure they get off their 12 key super, not their 24. Why do I say that? The 24 key super raises Supreme Class allies attack by 30% for 2 turns. Fantastic. But you don't care. You want the 12 key because you want to seal this dude. Because if Great Saiyaman gets off his super attack, you're dead. It's a killing blow. That's it. There's a handful of ways to tank it, but they're not really important. So what I do is I keep them on one rotation, and on the other rotation, I have seal tanks. So those two really become the meat and potatoes of your team. You've got your 2 leaders, you've got your 2 sealers, and then whoever else you want to throw on there to do damage. I throw basically the LRs on there because they do really good damage. I have LR Yamcha and Puar. They're not the best hitters, but they do all right. This guy is scrub level, but he actually has a lot of defense and a lot of HP, so he's really good on that team. And he's free to play too, and technically they're free to play. So that's why I said it's like a mostly free to play team. It's pretty crazy. The only other unit I have on here that's a little wonky is this dude, but it's because, you know, he's an easy A. He's got a lot of benefits being easy A. He hits really hard, and he raises attack by 30% for 1 turn. So, there you go. So, that's that team. That team will take that event apart. You just got to make sure that you have a sealer at least on every other rotation. If not, I do every single rotation just because if something happens, something screws up, someone doesn't get a super attack, I at least have him sealed every single time. And I'll be real, it only takes about maybe 3 turns, I think, to take him out. And that's if I'm struggling. So, you know, prepare. Everything else, legitimately, I have just made a mono team for. And if for whatever reason my mono team gets crushed, or I can't get key, which has been a major issue this time around, I don't know why, but last run my RNG was awful. Anything like that happens, then I've got a backup category team. So like the typical Fusion, Patara. I made a Super Saiyan 3 team. I made a Resurrected Warriors team. And I meant to make a Hybrid Saiyans team, but I didn't quite get around to it. So that's how you prepare for this. And I promise you, if you prepare properly, make a mono team for everything except for those first 2. Use those 2 teams that I told you about on the first 2. You'll be absolutely fine. You're going to just rip this apart, and it's going to be no sweat. In fact, I think it was the Extreme Fizz, and I don't remember the other one. Maybe it was Hit. I don't remember specifically. But those are the only ones I really had a problem with. That dude was a pain in the ass, the Cooler, because he gets double super attacks. You can't seal, you can't do anything, you can't lower his attack, you can't lower his defense, and he does double super attacks. But if you have a great AGL team like I do, I breezed through it. It was laughable, if I'm honest. So, hit. Hit is a funny one because hit can stun you. So, I mean, I used my extreme fizz team on there because my extreme fizz team is pretty handy. Pretty handy. My extreme fizz team gets a lot of double attacks, things like that, and so long as you can hit him before he can hit you, he's not going to stun you. So, a lot of options there. But that was pretty much, I think, the only one I had a major issue with, and then I had to go in and use another one. So, yeah. Evasion is disabled on him, but yeah. So all the effects on him basically, he can't be stunned, can't be sealed, you can't lower attack, you can't lower defense, you can't evade, which is a weird one, but it's a thing, and he might stun you. So I had a little bit of a problem with him. He would come in and be a douche and stun my best units, but really not that big a deal. Tech Gohan, we've seen that before. You just can't move a unit. It's really not that big a deal. You can plan ahead for that. And if you're using a really good int team, ain't a problem anyway. Most of those teams link up pretty well. So, like, my extreme int just tore him apart. It was no big deal. So, Boo, on the other hand, was a weird one. Physical Boo is not a unit we haven't seen before. It just seems like he's got a crazy amount of health. He's got 10 health bars. He restores HP, and you cannot evade his hits. So, the team that I took in there was my Super Strength team, obviously. And they did most of the work, but then there were just a couple of times where he healed. Now, you can seal him. That is one thing that you can do. You can seal him. You cannot stun him. But sealing will just stop his super attacks. They're going to stop his healing, I don't think. Could be wrong on that. But my strength team didn't have any sealers. I didn't worry about it. I just used, Whiskey Bitch for evasion. That's the Vegeta and Bulma. And then I used Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So it was a pretty straightforward team. But yeah, if you use a really good team, it's not going to be a problem, guys. Not going to be a problem at all. And make sure you clear this at least 3 every week, 3 runs every week, or 3 levels every week. But you want to clear the whole thing 3 times anyway. So since we got 4th anniversary coming up, since we've got a lot of hype coming in the game, you're not going to be paying much attention to this during 4th anniversary. I promise you. You're going to have so much other stuff going on. It's going to be insane. Pay attention to this now. And plus, remember, we've got the tournament coming up in just a couple of days. I think it's tomorrow, in fact. So before 8 p.m. today, clear 3 of these stages. I'd clear at least one more entire run before the end of tonight, because when that tournament kicks off, you're not going to have any time if you're doing the tournament, and I think you'd be a fool not to. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Those are the teams that I built, and I was left over with, I think 3 or 4 teams that I just didn't bother using, because it's like... And I didn't even, you can see, I didn't even build all the teams that I could build. I built, a handful of teams. Let's see, I selected 92. That's one of the teams I planned to build, I just completely forgot about, didn't even bother with. And I had no issues. So, forget about it. It's just absolutely phenomenal. If you do this right, it's really, really easy. I know we were dreading it, but with the teams that I built, I had no problems at all. And I even had problems with the last one. No problems this time around. So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow my Birdman. Hit me up on Booker. I'll be back with more. Actually, we'll be doing a lot of World Tournament. I got to figure out what our schedule is going to be this week. But I think we might do a lot of World Tournament this week. So, we'll talk about that. Follow Birdman, hit me up on Booker, like, comment, share, subscribe. I will lay your asses out with more Dokkan Battle here next time. Actually, next time might be Damachi. I don't know. Soon. Sometime shortly. In the very near future. At least 24 hours.